everyone, it's Kate from the Fold Line. I am back this week to talk new sewing pattern releases for June. This is where I run through some of the indie designers that were released last month. I pick sort of 7 or 8 of my favourite, and there is a blog post which I will link to down below that has all the releases for the last month so you can catch up, because I don't know about you, it's very hard to keep up with them all. So I've got some really fab patterns to talk you through, and I'm going to get started. Right, the first pattern I've got is Fibre Mood Edition 15. If anyone hasn't come across this, they are a pattern magazine, so you get the layout of it is amazing. So the front of the magazine has like a lookbook with all the pictures of the patterns. The thing I really like about it is they usually have them made up in a couple of different fabrics, so you really get to feel of what it's going to look like. Then in the middle they've got all the line drawings and then the instructions and the patterns. So the one thing I will say is the patterns come at the back, you have to trace them off, but there is a link in the magazine. If you really love them, you can go and get the PDFs and print them off so that you don't have to bother tracing off. So this edition has got 12 patterns included. They have variations on each of them, and the variations are actually with Fibre Mood are quite good. They're not, you know, some variations are, you know, a short sleeve and a 3/4 sleeve, and you think, well, I could have done that myself. They're kind of really decent, proper variations. Beautiful, beautiful patterns included this time. So I'll be showing you, you can see some of the shapes that are included. The size range for all the patterns are UK 6 to 30, so it's a really inclusive size range. There's just some really beautiful summer patterns. I think anyone who is feeling a bit unsure about what they want to make, if you need a little bit of a kick of inspiration, then Fibre Mood is a really good way to go. I love their patterns. So that is our first one, really delightful. Next up, we've got the Ramen Dress from Tammy Handmade. This comes in sizes 6 to 24. I absolutely adore this dress. It's beautiful, and if anyone has got a summer event, or, well, the thing I love about this dress is that it can either be quite dressy. I think you could wear this to a wedding, but you could also wear this on the beach. So it's very simple actually in construction. It's just got lovely details. So it's straight cut across the front. It's got kind of quite wide straps which are lovely, cover your bra, tie at the top, and then it's got these tiers of gathering. The cool thing about it is that it has this lovely like mini ruffle next to the gathering, so it adds this really nice detail, and although it's quite simple in terms of construction, it really, I think you'll agree when you see the picture, actually how beautiful it is as a finished garment. So anyone who is feeling like they want a summer dress, I think this would be an absolute belter. All we need now is the weather to get a little bit better, and then we can all make them and wear them. So yeah, I love this. I think it's a really nice option. Right, next up we have the Gather Dress from Birgitta Hemmelson. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I think I have. This is a new designer we've got on the site. I absolutely love her. They're based in Sweden. Her kind of USP for patterns is that she promotes, well, her patterns are zero waste. This dress, I think, is amazing, and I think it will look great on everyone. That's the thing I love about it. So it comes in sizes 6 to 24. It's really simple, and I'll show you the line drawing because I think it gives you more of an idea about how the zero waste things work. So it's square cut on the sort of along the shoulder. It's got dropped sleeves. It's got a gathering into the waistband, and then 3 buttons down the front. The sleeves also then square cut, and the concept of zero waste, if you haven't come across it, is that you basically don't waste any fabric, which is really nice. Actually, when you look at it, you can see that basically it's squares, essentially, most of it. It's got this lovely little neckband as well. I just think this looks so nice on everyone. Can you imagine it in linen? It would look beautiful. Throw it on when you want to go to the beach. I think you could also make this in a you can make this in like a silk or something, and it would be really dressy. So I think there's quite a lot of things that you can do with it. If you haven't come across her before, go and have a look. She's got 4 patterns. They're really nice. Quite a lot of them are unisex as well. Really fab. So go and have a look. Next up, we've got the Spring Safari Jacket from You Made My Day Patterns. This comes in sizes 6 to 18. It's really lovely to have something that's a jacket. They seem to be released more rarely these days, so I thought this one was really interesting, had nice details, and I think you guys will like it too. So I'll show you pictures so you can have a look. It's kind of a mix. It's safari jacket. It's got those really lovely details on it, which I think if you haven't done them before, you'll learn. So it's unlined, the jacket, so it's quite simple construction, but you can see from the line drawing that there's lots of lovely details. So it's got little epaulets on the up on the shoulder. It's got a proper collar, 2-piece collar, or notched sort of, with a standard fall. It's got belts with proper belt loops. It's got those pockets with the central pleat on. All of these details, again, if you didn't want the pockets on the front, or you didn't like the belt, these things are things that you could leave off. But I thought this is a really good pattern. It's quite a useful item of clothing, an unlined jacket. You can wear it almost like a cardigan. Now it's a bit warmer in the evenings. Yeah, it's really nice. And if you're looking for a nice kind of project to take on with I actually started kind of having been enjoying making more simple things recently. I am itching to get my teeth stuck into something with a bit more detail, and actually I really like making things like this because it's just the construction isn't that hard. You just have to sort of take your time with everything. So that is that. Next up, moving from something quite tricky to something a bit easier, the Agnes Pajama sets from Paper Theory Patterns. This comes in sizes 6 to 28. I adore these pajamas. I think they are perfect. So anyone who is into sewing or knows about pajama patterns, I feel like the cult pajama patterns is the Carolyn pajamas from Closet Core Patterns. If you haven't come across those before, they are your absolute bog standard classic, how you would imagine a classic set of pajamas, with piping, lots of lovely details. I feel like if you can't be bothered to make that, because it is actually quite an involved make to make those pajamas, it's worth it because they look beautiful at the end of it. If you want something a little bit more simple, I feel like these are the perfect option. So I'll show you the line drawing and then you'll understand why. The top of this is really interesting. So it's got grown on sleeves. It hasn't got a proper collar. It's got a kind of, I'm never quite sure what the it doesn't have a stand and fall on it. So it means it's much more simple for the construction. It's got 2 patch pockets on the front and buttons down, but that is it. I mean, the construction of that is really easy. It also comes with short or long trouser options, so you can pick between the two. But I think if you are feeling like you want a slightly speedier make, or if you are in the more beginner camp, these are a really fantastic pair of pajamas to make. And I have to say, making your own pajamas feels quite decadent, but honestly, you absolutely adore wearing them. Whenever you put them on, you're just like, because if you do sleep in pajamas, you actually spend quite a long time in them. 8 hours is not to be sniffed at. Yeah, they're just great. I think they're really wonderful, so they're definitely worth checking out if you are thinking pajamas. I also love what she's made them in. I think from looking at it, one of them, the kind of the yellow check, I think is a Merchant and Mills linen, which would be just out of this world. Right, next up we've got the Ramen Dress from Pauline Alice. This was actually released, I actually think last month, but they've only just arrived to us, so forgive me, I am cheating a little bit. This comes in sizes 6 to 22. It's one of 3 new patterns that she released, but this one I think was my favourite out of the 3 patterns. I really love this dress. I think it's got lots of lovely details. I think it's really versatile piece. I think you can get a lot of wear out of it. It's a bit of a mixture of I'll show you the line drawing. It's almost like a mixture of a shirt dress and a sort of tunic dress. So it's got some of the details. I think it's really interesting. I haven't really seen anything like this in the indie sewing world, and it looks great on. So it's it's got a placket down the front. It's a kind of, I would call it like a popover style, so the placket doesn't go all the way down. You can't unbutton it all the way down to the bottom. So you put it on over your head. It's got a pleat just at the bottom of the at the centre front at the placket, which I think is really nice. It adds a bit of, anyone who's slightly more pear-shaped, I am pear-shaped, so I always tend to look at stuff like this. Anything that gives you a little bit of ease around the hips, I'm always pro. It's got pockets on the front, on the breast, and pockets also, kind of really big pockets around the waist. So again, not too tricky in terms of the construction. It's just got nice detailing, which I think adds quite a lot to it. There's a patch pocket on the back, and again, all of these things are optional. So if you think, oh, I don't really want that, you just, you can just leave it off. But it's got lots of good things going on, and I think it's something that, again, if you took the time to make, I think you get quite a lot of wear out of it. So yeah, I'm really pumped about that one. I actually really want to make it. I think it's really great. Can you imagine it in linen? It'd be lovely. Right, last but definitely not least, we have got the Valo dress and top from Name Clothing. How exciting! A new pattern from Named. We haven't had one for ages. I think because they've got into the book writing game, they haven't released patterns, so it's really lovely to have a new one. This comes in sizes 6 to 28. Sorry, I got lost there. So this is a top and a dress. I think these are beautiful. I think also the fabrication that they've used makes it amazing. So if you look at the line drawing, if I show you that, it's got this really interesting sort of heart-shaped yoke that extends down the sleeve. I love what they've done, that they've used a very tonally different, slightly different toned fabric on the dress version. So it's a very slightly kind of paler yellow. It's got an elasticated waistband. I think you can have it as elasticated or drawstring. Yes, you can. It's up to you. And it's got 2 big patch pockets. The top is very similar again, but it has that drawstring, and yeah, it's got the thing I love about it is the back is as interesting as the front. I love that V-neck on the back, yet the V isn't so low that it shows your bra strap, because I know that is so annoying when you make something your bra strap shows. I hate it. It's a really lovely pattern. It's really interesting, and if you haven't made a named pattern before, I can vouch for them. The instructions are fantastic. They're just a really great pattern company, and I think this is a lovely. I think sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but I find that the dress, when there's a dress and top variant, quite often one of them is quite a bit weaker than the other, or you look at it and you think, actually I would never make the dress version of this. But I think the top and the dress of this are really strong. I think they're really great patterns. So the other thing you could do is, I was thinking for the top version, if you didn't want it, if you wanted it more loose, you could actually leave out the waistband. If you wanted to, the gathering around the waist, you could just leave it and it would look really nice. It'd be a bit less kind of nipped in. But yeah, it's a great pattern. So I hope that was useful. I hope you enjoyed that. Go and have a look at the blog post, because there are some amazing patterns this month, and obviously I just couldn't talk about them all. And we will be back soon with another video. Have a lovely weekend. Bye!